Hey guys, Adam aka askcsradical here, and thank you for checking out this episode of the VCR Podcast. For more content, you can visit our Instagram at vcr.podcast. If you are looking for a video version of this podcast, you can visit my YouTube channel at csradical. And if you are coming from the YouTube channel looking for an audio version of the podcast, you can check us out at anchor.fm/VCR Podcast for all available platforms. Thanks for checking us out, guys, and let's get on with the show.
You have entered the realm of the VCR Podcast with your host, Fish,
They're just bastardizing our childhood and the classics.
Chris,
Nintendogs drove me. It's what makes me want to hurt people.
Radical.
People in general still bitch about everything. It still doesn't change.
Let the podcast begin.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the VCR Podcast, the only podcast that radiates itself in the moment the title is spoken. Adam, aka askcsradical, here with you guys. Vish and Chris with me, too. How are you guys doing today?
What's up, y'all?
Fantastic. How you doing?
I mean, we have, hope in sight now. That's a start. It's the first week that things are actually going on a downward climb for once. Or a downward trend, I should say. What's a downward climb? Wait a minute.
Things are looking up because the bad's going down.
Yeah,
It does feel like it's starting to go down, doesn't it?
I mean, it looks like we finally hit the peak and now we're turning the corner, but I mean, this is still a long ways away before we have any semblance of normalcy, but at the very least, we know that it's not getting worse, which is, I guess, the most good news we've had in 2 months, so I think we take it as we get
hit
it.
their peak?
What's that?
I said, who you saying's hit their peak?
Well, we never hit our peak because we don't have one to begin with, so what's the point?
That's right, I'm
That's
always going
good
up.
to not have a peak. It means we can always aim higher. And that's
Wow.
what she said?
I'm trying to stay away from what she said these days.
Ah.
Oh my gosh,
Sometimes it's a lie, you know? You gotta be careful.
true.
But,
Because what if it really was what she said? Or what
Well,
if it's not
Chris,
what she
Chris,
wanted to say?
No, it's not just that. It's not just she and he. We have to worry about the other 48 genders.
I mean,
That's
look,
what Avocado said.
I'm gonna plead the fifth on this one. Even though we're Canadian, so it doesn't technically apply. But, you know.
Oh yeah.
America.
So-
What would we plead?
We would plead the waffle.
Mabel. Waffle. Yeah, I plead the waffle. I like it.
If we were dogs, would they be woofles?
No, that would be retarded.
What? What just happened?
Speaking of retarded, what have you guys been up to lately?
First of all,
'cause I'm
happy
gonna-
Earth Day.
I'm gonna take forever, so I'm going last.
So first
Yeah.
of all, happy Earth Day to our beautiful pizza-shaped planet.
Yep,
Yes, a flat Earth, a beautiful place.
we're one giant
Or as
ass
Adam, you
pepperoni.
called it earlier. You called it water pancake,
Yes,
Adam, and I
Yes,
thought
I
that was
did.
very clever
So,
and scientifically accurate. That's the best part.
I mean, look,
The
it's
science
an
confirms
art. It's an artsy water pancake. That's exactly what it is.
for doing my part for Earth Day, I have not driven at all today.
That's because you have nowhere to go.
That's the joke.
I did my part today. I didn't spray 20,000 aerosol cans to get the weather up because it snowed again this morning.
yeah.
Holy fuck! We're in Canada, and it has snowed 3 times today, and then turned into +6 today.
I almost just want to yell into the sky, "Make up your goddamn mind!"
So there's a picture of the Cat in the Hat going around right now, and it's like, what's the weather? Is there sun? Is there snow? I live in Canada. I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yep.
I like it.
So let's start with you, Chris. What have you been up to?
Well, it was, I believe, last week's episode that we were talking about Mortal Kombat. It was one of our side tangents, I believe. No, it was because Vishal, you were playing Mortal Kombat
Yes.
11, and I
And
believe
I
it was
watched the,
even
movie last week.
yes,
the,
and I believe it
Scorpion
was
and
even
one.
during the show that I then was like, "Hey guys, guess what?" And I bought Mortal Kombat 9 because I found out that in March they discontinued it on Steam, and it turns out it was because I guess Freddy Krueger is like an unlockable character.
Yeah,
and
it's
they
the
didn't
it's the
have
problem with
rights
having
anymore.
DLC. Like you have to the
Wait,
licenses
so
run
what
out on these
happened with
things.
it?
So because Freddy Krueger is not something NetherRealm Studios owns, it's not their property, they had to pay royalties for it, and they only got it for a certain amount of time. I think they got it for 6 years. renewed it, got it for another 6 years, but in March they shut down the servers for online and they had to discontinue the sale of the game digitally. Like new sales, like if people already own it, you still own it. It's just they're taken off the stores for further purchase because they don't have the royalties anymore to have Freddy Krueger. And
So how did you get it?
well, because it's a Steam key, there's a lot of people that already own like thousands of copies of all these Steam keys from Humble Bundles and all these other places, like all these online stores. And there's these people that just have these CD keys around and they are selling them online. So I quickly went to one of the reseller sites where it's like secondhand, I guess, in a way, like other people who have a Humble Bundle. And a guy had it for $5 for the complete edition. So like the game of the year or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, or $4. I don't know, something ridiculously stupid cheap.
Yeah, it's like it's no different than say buying something off Kijiji or buying like say something off a site like Lukey Games where you get like physical copies. It's basically a similar thing just with Steam keys.
Yep. Yeah.
Or Facebook Marketplace.
Well, if you get a Steam key off Facebook Marketplace, I don't know what you're doing on Facebook for that, but you know.
Yeah. No, I definitely went to like a specific Steam selling trading website. But yeah, so I ended up on the weekend, I believe it was. I was like, you know what? I feel like some Mortal Kombat, and I wanted to try out the story mode because, you know, the older Mortal Kombats, and the last Mortal Kombat I played, by the way, was Mortal Kombat 4 on N64. Just to,
Which is still a good
I mean,
game.
to be fair, if you stop there, that was a good place to stop.
yeah.
Actually, between that and Mortal Kombat 9, which is the one you played, it was garbage.
Yeah, I looked it up after because I was like, I don't know what happened in the middle. I played 1, 2, and 3, like the original trilogy. I played that like crazy on like Super Nintendo, even in arcades when I'd have a chance. Like I loved that game. I think I beat it as every character, which I probably couldn't do now. And even on Steam, I have the arcade collection, which is the first 3 games: Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and Ultimate 3, or whatever the hell that one was. So I've played those 3, and those were the only ones I cared really about. Definitely didn't care about like Deadly Alliance and Deception and all these other ones. I was like, I don't know. Like Mortal Kombat looks weird how they had it.
It's well, the most ridiculous one was the one that came out, I believe, 2009 or 10. It had every character from Mortal Kombat, which was cool. Had an interesting concept of creating your own fatality, but that, oh good god,
Poor
that
ass execution,
garbage.
both figuratively and literally.
Say what?
I said poor execution, both figuratively and literally, because the fatalities didn't even look that good.
Yeah. Well, so I picked up 9, first Mortal Kombat in fucking, I don't know, over 10 years at least. I don't know, when Mortal Kombat?
Dude, almost 20
must be
years,
16 years or something like that. Yeah, I think Mortal Kombat.
Actually, no.
Holy
I can tell you right now.
Like 23 years ago. Mortal Kombat 4 was 1997. I saw that today.
Yeah, I got Mortal Kombat for my PlayStation. Mortal Kombat 4 for my PlayStation.
The remake was in 2011, so basically 14 years between the 2 games that you've played by release days.
Yeah. And I only just played the 2011 game here in 2020.
Yeah.
So it's been 23 years since I've played a Mortal Kombat. I'm sure I've played like maybe at somebody's house. I've tried it or something. Like at Vishal, I'm assuming I'd have tried one of them at your house. But I mean,
when I bought it right away because I thought, hey, this looks pretty good, and it turned out it was awesome. And you were like, I might buy this. It took you 9 years, but you did buy it.
That's all that matters. How far have you gotten in the story, or have you finished it?
Chris?
Sorry, my internet decided to disconnect and then reconnect.
Ooh, nice.
Okay, that happened.
Yes, I am back now.
The beauty
of
of remote calls, stuff gets fucked up.
Uh-huh.
So I'll ask again then. How far have you gotten in the story, or have you finished it?
Yeah, so I started on the weekend, and I noticed there was a story mode, which the last time I played a Mortal Kombat, there was no such thing as a fucking story mode. It was, the arcade mode. You pick a character, you play through the end, you get their ending, and only like one of them is the actual canon ending for the quote-unquote story. And I mean, for the first 3, it was always Liu Kang. Let's be honest. It was always his ending that was the true one.
That's the thing.
Yeah. But this one has the story mode. I was like, fuck yeah, that's what I've always wanted in a Mortal Kombat, or fighting games in general. That's why I just didn't get into them. I don't play much. I wouldn't play online. There's no way. I'm not good. The arcade modes are fun, but I'm only going to pick 1 or 2 people, play through. And if it's hard and I finally get through it, I'm like, oh, I'm done. As Vishal, I was messaging you being like, fuck this game. I'm going to rage. What the hell's going on? I was playing on beginner, trying to beat story mode.
Shao
And
Kahn is insanely cheap.
oh
in this.
my god. But good news is I played through, I think it took me 6 or something hours. Nothing too long, but I beat the story mode, which to me I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm done. This game is off my backlog. I bought it, I beat it. I if I want to reinstall it and play when people are over, sure. But for my account of it, like I'm done.
And it's
And
such
that-
a great story mode too, because it takes 3 games and also retells it a little bit and then changes a few things up.
Which was amazing because they're also the only 3 games I'd actually played like with knowledge of what was going on. Because I think Mortal Kombat 4, I was like, what the fuck's a Chinook? I don't understand.
Yeah, so you
Like-
probably got to the point where they were trying to convert smoke, and you were like, "Oh no, it's going to happen again!" And then the twist happens. You're like,
Yeah. Oh,
which
poor
I'm not.
No,
there's
like,
no
it was
point. There's no
really
point in
cool,
hiding the spoiler. It's a 9-year-old game, but Sub-Zero becomes what Smoke does.
Noob Cybot.
No. Smoke
Well, no,
is
he was
a
always Noob
cyborg, so
Saibot.
Sub-Zero ends up
Yeah,
being the cyborg.
Cyborg Sub-Zero.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
no, it was a very like it was the first time Mortal Kombat actually had substance to it, like a real story mode, real character.
That's not
Like,
100% true, but most of them end up being pretty bad. I will say I believe it's Deception. There was a mode called Conquest, which was almost like an RPG in a Mortal Kombat game that was actually pretty good that mixed in the fighting to it, which isn't that bad.
Yeah, definitely.
I will
didn't play
say,
that.
I hate all the Mortal Kombat games between Deadly Alliance and I believe Armageddon was the last one before Mortal Kombat
Yeah.
9. As games themselves, they suck, but I will give Deception props for trying something new with Conquest because it was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I would definitely try that out. I mean, I have no access to it now. It's not like it's on PC or anything. Well, emulators. But I played through the story, and it's crazy because the feeling I was getting playing it was the same feeling I get when I'm watching the original Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah,
Like it gives you like that story, and it just reminded me like, wow, that movie is actually like spot on, like the pinnacle video game movie because it is just the game. Like the game and the movie, it really does look like they're the same source material and same thing, just one's with actors and one's with like motion.
And I mean,
it
that's the
had
thing.
It has a very sorry. Go ahead, Adam.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it looks like shit because people make fun of the. I'm like, yeah, guys, it was the '90s. Like, fucking come on. If for the first time this movie got made with whatever this new movie is going to be in 2021, like if it is the same thing as what the original movie is in terms of the source material and how they treat it, like this thing's going to look fucking so cool.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
at the time it was obviously crippled because you aren't getting a budget for video game movies back in those days.
No,
You're
and it's
still getting a budget
1995.
for video game movies today.
I mean, you're getting a
Yeah.
better budget than probably what they were getting.
Yeah,
It was like the story itself is actually very good. Like it was well done, and the twist about like actually letting Shao Kahn win so he can be defeated was a really cool like, oh, this makes sense now. But
Yeah.
like the script and the the dialogue is just atrocious.
I thought the script was pretty good. Some of the voice acting, yes, or like some of the things that happen, it's like, oh no, it's like, I mean, what did you think was going to happen? You zapped Liu Kang with lightning, like what?
So the fun,
I think it's just gonna be
part
like,
that I-
oh,
like what I thought was hilarious is I was telling my sister and brother-in-law, it's like Shao Kahn is supposed to be like this godlike, unstoppable being, and he says stuff like, "It's official, you suck." I'm
yeah,
like-
but that was the original games. I think they took the same taunts.
Yeah,
for
I mean,
Mortal Kombat 2.
this is a game that when it first came out, Liu Kang was doing bicycle kicks, going, whoop, 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 whoop.
Yeah, and he
So,
still
you
does.
know.
It's so good. Or
A
Raiden,
little-
where he yells, "Get back in the car!" when he flies at people doing his Superman pose. Get back in the car!
We all had like so many different ways of saying these things too.
Yeah.
Sometimes
like
it was
growing
just
up was
plain
get back in the
gibberish.
car. Yeah.
Like I love Mortal Kombat. I just think that you don't need to focus and make Liu Kang the central figure. I think you need to do it with Scorpion or Sub-Zero.
That's your opinion, and that's what the creators didn't think of. And I mean, it still sells really well. So I mean, I guess
It does.
like let's be honest. If we're really giving a shit too much about who's actually like the key figure, it's like, dude, just make sure it's bloody and fucking crazy. That's all.
Yeah,
I care.
yeah.
That's all I care
Fair
about.
enough.
And the thing is,
If they
that
kill
this
off Scorpion
game-
and Sub-Zero, though, that's a different story. Motherfucker's gonna die if that happens.
Yeah. The thing is with this game, it's actually reintroduced my love for Mortal Kombat like I had in the 90s, like the original ones. And it was like Deadly Alliance and all these other ones I saw is like, I don't know, I felt like Mortal Kombat kind of got too out there, too many new characters, too much just like ridiculous story that's
I
kind of
wouldn't
like
even say it's that. I think the games themselves suffered because the gameplay wasn't working because they tried to do it on a 3D axis.
yes. And that's what I
like
didn't like
Tekken
about
and
4.
Soul Calibur, and it wasn't
Well, but the thing
Like I-
is, Soul Calibur in those games makes sense because it's technical. So it makes sense to have yourself on different footing. But Mortal Kombat is just spamming moves. Why would you ever want it to be on a 3D axis? Or 3D axis?
No, these fighting games are the best in the 2D, which this one did very, very well, I thought. But yeah, like I'm like right back in. I was halfway, I think, through the story mode, and I had to keep stopping because I would get so like riled up and my heart would be racing and I'd be stressed out.
Did you like
Because
Molina's bandage costume?
oh yeah. There's an achievement for that called Best Costume Ever.
And they
That's
weren't
actually the
lying.
name of the achievement.
They weren't lying.
They didn't even hide it. I will admit that the character designs are just like, how is
Awesome.
everybody so naked and wearing high heels and everybody has the fakest tits in the world? Like it's impossible.
I mean, look.
They're rock hard.
Look, there's
Oh,
lots
you know what
there's
you can
lots of
do?
magic in those
You-
worlds. It's so easy. You don't even need
Yeah, like-
surgery. You snap your fingers and poof.
In chapter 1 of the story mode, Johnny Cage goes up to Sonya and goes, "Oh, that uniform. You must be with the military." It's like no one in the fucking military dresses like that. She's a hooker who shows up at your door pretending to be a cop or military person, but she's really just a stripper. Like no one is just wearing one single button between their massive tits like I'm in the military. Like you would have a bulletproof vest or anything.
So we'll,
Like,
we'll
what
just
the-
make the
Why,
compromise.
what-
Every character, if they're gonna dress up stupid too, like say a striker for example, he's got to have assless chaps.
Yeah, like a lot of the guys obviously top obviously that's the only answer. If you're gonna overly sexualize the chicks, you might as well do it to the guys, make it fair. Like the guys
Actually-
are all topless and just like jacked and
Well, it's
everything.
it's like that classic Joe Rogan bit from his latest special where he talked about okay, if you know we're gonna be okay with like girls having like half cleavage going on, like guys should just be able to have like just a bit of the shaft, like
yeah, just one ball.
So there was with the arcade modes. So each character has their individual ending. The striker one was my favorite because I thought it was hilarious. Do you want to hear it or no?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I've already uninstalled the game because I cannot go through and fight Shao
Just
Kahn again.
YouTube the
Yeah.
endings. 'cause
When
they're
you
all
told me that I had to go through and beat the arcade for different endings for everybody, I was like, "Fuck that! Uninstall. I'm done."
No, I get that. Like sometimes the game is just too much. That's why with Metal Gear, I just YouTube the additional stuff. So with Striker, it was like he was praised as a hero. He was like getting awarded all this shit and everything, and like he's like, "You are a savior." But then they said he had to put his foot down. Under no circumstances would he let Johnny Cage play him in a movie. And
That's
you see
amazing.
Johnny Cage has the most defeated look on his face. I'm like, that was
Johnny Cage is like
awesome.
Johnny Cage is like the Rock of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
No, he's the who is more
Jean-Claude Van Damme, maybe.
cheesy.
I mean, that's pretty much what he was based on anyway.
Yeah,
But I mean, if we're
yeah.
talking
I think
today,
that's who he's based off of.
I
well,
don't
yeah,
know
but
who
this is
he'd
also
be
now
today.
2020. So there
Yeah.
are
But
kids
even,
probably listening to this being like, "Who the fuck is Jean Claude Van Damme?"
Yeah, he's definitely like a '90s or '80s action.
Is that
Yeah,
like the
100%.
brother of wrestler Rob Van Dam?
Could be.
So with the with Johnny Cage, when I was watching the movie Scorpion's Revenge, Johnny is one of the main guys. It's him, Sonya, and Liu Kang, obviously, because
Yeah.
typical. And Johnny is such a fucking douchey actor. I really hope Hollywood isn't really like this because I want to punch this fucking guy in the face so
Well,
badly.
given what
The
we've seen
entire
in
time
Hollywood,
he's
I
doing
would
this-
believe that they are actually.
Yeah.
Actually, Aaron Rodgers, sorry to go off topic. For the Green Bay Packers said, "What am I gonna do? Like, say we're all in this, and I'm in my privileged lifestyle, living in my mansion.
Well, not
and
everybody's
telling
an
everyone
asshole.
I know how." Yeah, so it's like, well, he is in general, but like, it's like, you know what, man? I respect you for being ballsy enough to like not say.
Oh, he's cutting out.
Who, me?
No, Vish. Vish was
Did I-
hard cutting out there.
Oh, Vish. Yeah, I heard it too.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know. I think I'm recording properly.
Internets.
Yeah, it's just the internet. Everybody's at home. All of everyone's podcasting. It's Wednesday.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Otherwise, because we already almost have 20 minutes here. Anything else before we move to Vish?
Just that it has reinvigorated my love for Mortal Kombat, and I wish listed Mortal Kombat X and 11 right away, right after.
Yeah.
And
I plan on picking them up.
The story modes for the two aren't as great, but they're number 10 doesn't have a great story mode, but 11
Strongly disagree, but that is what it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna love it regardless because it has a story mode, which I always thought was missing, because I've always needed that single player experience, which isn't just like pick a character, fight every single person, get one ending. Like, I like the story mode.
That's why I love Smash Brothers for Wii, because it actually had that one, and what I thought was awesome, you could be different characters the entire time.
Yeah.
That was my only fault with Smash Brothers.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that's all I got to say about Mortal Kombat. So I guess Vish, what have you been doing?
Okay, so game-wise, I decided to do something because I bought a lot of fighting games recently because they're infinitely playable. And I enjoy them. I like playing the arcade mode, and I miss that arcade experience. So I bought, as I showed you guys, a classic arcade controller off Amazon.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I was playing Mortal Kombat with it. I was playing as one of the newer characters. His name is Garrett. He's a minion of the main boss Kronika in Mortal Kombat 11. It's so much different now using an arcade controller for fighting games that it's actually a very hard transition almost. Because there was a time when the Marvel fighting games came out, I was unstoppable. But then life happens. Unfortunately, arcades disappeared. And I was playing the Marvel fighting games with a PlayStation controller, but I missed that arcade feel. It was still cool to use, and it brought back a lot of nostalgia, but it's not easy to use. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm playing as one Mortal Kombat character a day in arcade mode, just to extend the life cycle of the game I bought. I don't want to just do them all at once and be like, okay, I saw them all ending. Now what do I do? But I also bought the other edition.
I can tell you what you can do. Play Horizon, goddammit.
I know. Well, I got some very good news this week. I had a really rough week last week. I don't know if I mentioned it on this podcast. I know I mentioned it on another episode we did, a side episode. And in all full disclosure, I quit my job a while ago in September because of various reasons. And I was aggressively searching, and COVID happened. So last week was a really rough week in particular. And I didn't know what my future was going to be like because no one is really hiring right now. And that's fair. I had one really good interview, which I spent literally a week preparing for. And that one was a very good opportunity, and it was close by. It was only we're located in Hamilton, Ontario. This position was going to be in Burlington, Ontario, which is about a 20-minute drive on average. Chris is actually from and born in Burlington, Ontario.
Jeez, keep telling us where we live now so people can fucking try to dox us. Jesus.
Dude, if we got stalkers, that's good news.
No, it's not. Speak for yourself.
So, unfortunately, I didn't get that one. So, I was starting to get a little worried because that was a good opportunity, and I was running out of options. So, fortunately, this week, I got hired in a new position, and it's also, ironically, in Burlington and located near IKEA. So, I have to create an IKEA Frogurt fund now for myself.
Or you can have some self-control. Jesus.
Adam, It's IKEA Frogurt.
I couldn't tell you what that is because I don't go to IKEA.
It's frozen yogurt. It's really good. It's probably the best one out there. Would you say, Chris?
I don't. Yeah, I would say so. Mine has always been
Well-
Costco, but I don't think that's. I don't
besides
think that's Frogurt.
Besides yogurt, but Yogurties is a different case because you can add a bunch of shit to it.
Yeah, unless you have anybody else that can throw mochi into frozen yogurt, I'm always going with yogurt.
Okay, wait. Hang on. Okay, think of it as a McDonald's cone, but $1.
Sweet.
Okay, I'd rather just get a cheeseburger. But anyways,
So I got some good news. I'm starting a new position as of Monday, and I'm really happy about that because I was actually in a really rough. I was on a good place last week, and now with the new position, I actually will be able to have some stability in my life. So I'm actually looking at maybe even starting Horizon after Mortal Kombat is finished because it's just going to be something to do for the time being because I feel we're going to be here in this position in this life cycle in this what's called the new normal for another month at least.
oh yeah,
So from what I hear, I think in a month I can finish Horizon. And Adam said everyone
I
says
mean,
it's
if you aren't you're probably not as completion as crazy as me and Chris would be. So I think you probably could finish it even faster than that. But
most likely, like I like to finish a game 80%. And when I don't like to because there's some side tasks, like for example in Spider-Man, the pigeon one, I just was like, this is fucking stupid. I'm not doing this one. But then like the ones with the black cat, I'm like, hey, this is kind of cool.
Of course it is. It's
So-
got Black Cat.
Exactly.
I can second that motion.
So I've just been really Mortal Kombat focused lately, and it's just right now there's not a lot of big things out. There's no new releases. I got all the latest.
Oh, there are new
editions of
releases,
the-
just not
No, I
not
got-
nearly as much.
I got all the newest editions of the top 4 big fighting franchises. I got Mortal Kombat 11, I got Street Fighter 5, I got Soul Calibur 6, and I also got the newest Tekken. So again, fighting games are almost infinitely replayable. And with the arcade stick, I'm like, you know what? This is gonna be kind of fun nostalgia feeling for it.
Yeah, it gives
So I
it an
decided-
arcade feel.
Yeah, I miss that feel of going to the arcade, and I don't miss putting quarters in because I'd rather keep my money. But it's just like this is kind of fun to do.
Oh, for sure. Like
Maybe-
there are some genres of games now that I'm kind of unsure if I want to play with a controller anymore. Like I'm convinced that I don't want to play racing games ever again unless I can get a wheel.
Well, racing games I like playing with a controller. I remember when Mario Kart for Wii came out, I played with a controller. I was okay at it.
Well, I'm
but
not.
then
I'm not talking your like arcadey ones. I'm talking straight up like Gran Turismo, Forza level stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, your
a
like your
proper
simulation racing games, I should say.
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna throw
Yeah.
blue shells, yeah, you might want a controller for that. I don't know if a steering wheel is gonna be great for that.
Well, I bought like during the holiday season. I saw it really cheap, so I bought Burnout Paradise for PS4. I know it came out
Yes.
for PS3 first, but the PS4 one is the full fucking game.
Well, it was
And-
it was a remaster. Well, yeah.
yeah, and I absolutely like the Burnout racers are probably my favorite racers outside of Mario Kart.
Do you actually race in the game, or do you just find a spot?
But it's open world racing, so it's not like you have to follow a certain path.
Well, it's also
You-
racing with the intent of knocking other people off the road.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just drive at full speed until I do the craziest head-on collision and watch the slow motion damage.
Oh, it's fucking awesome, and it's a lot of fun. But like I said, it's almost open world where you can like go between buildings or like cut through a field. Like it's not like you got to go on this path. Like nope, it's like you can go where the fuck you want, and it's a shit ton of fun. And it's like you question your sanity after playing. It's like, oh, and you crashed so many cars. It's like someone probably died. Oh well.
Oh well.
And yeah, but I haven't started Burnout yet because I'm more focused on the fighters I have right now because that's going to probably occupy a lot of my time for a little bit. And then again with the arcade controller, and I'm looking at starting Horizon because everyone says it's like epic and like one of the top games for the PS4 itself. Would you say that, Adam?
Sorry, I was like researching something at the same time. What was that again?
So good. Would you consider Horizon one of the top games for the PS4?
It's hard to say because it wasn't critically received nearly as well as a lot of other games were. I would
No, but for yourself.
personally, yeah. But I mean, it depends on where. Like, it's probably top 5, but there's also some really good ones that are next to it, like a Persona 5 or like, Trails of Cold Steel 3, which I'll get into in a minute when I go, or Yakuza 0 or Spider-Man, or there's definitely a lot of competition. But top 10, yeah, I'd say it's definitely.
I'm definitely picking it up like day one on PC. It's gonna be one of the first times I actually buy a game.
I cannot imagine how amazing that fucking thing's going to look on PC. Oh my god.
And I'm imagining because it's coming out by Sony and they're good with pricing, I imagine it'll be like a $49.99 game or something.
Well, like for me, my top games for the PS4 are God of War, Spider-Man, and those are the only two I can legitimately think of that are PS4 strictly. I would say Metal Gear, but Metal Gear is not a console exclusive. Metal Gear is just another...
console exclusive isn't really that important at this point because almost nothing is console exclusive these days.
Yeah,
fair enough. Oh, you know what? I'll just say it: Uncharted 4. Okay. But that's only because it was a good ending. Of holy shit. Okay, so in the background, sorry to go off topic because
again,
I have Civil War playing in the background. And they're showing Peggy Carter's funeral. 4-year spoiler alert. There's a dude holding the casket with the exact same hair as old man Steve Rogers.
So short hair.
So Steve Rogers was at the fucking funeral.
All right, well, that was fucking random.
Dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun.
I just noticed that. Speaking of Trails of Cold Steel.
The funeral. He means the funeral from the movie.
Oh, good lord.
Yes.
Well, I guess I'm going then. I'm not going to start with that because I'm going to take a little bit more time with those. I want to quickly talk about a couple of demo reels that I've done now that they're out into the ether. So I was talking about this on the last show about one that was pretty brutal. And one of the ones that came out is called The Casebook of Arcady Smith. Which is, and Chris will definitely recognize this kind of, what I'm saying from this, it is clearly a game that would have barely passed Steam Greenlight back in the day.
Oof.
And it's being put on consoles.
Ooh.
So,
yeah, what's this game about?
So, in theory, this, and I said in this video, because I was really trying to be nice with this game. I tried my ass off not to turn into like, everybody wants to copy like what Jim Sterling always does with his Jimquisition videos, and that kind of got him in trouble with some developers for some of the shit he'd say. I tried really hard not to trash it. I tried to be as fair as I could. And I said right from the top that the concept is actually pretty cool. It's a detective game where you're going and solving cases, and it's almost like an open world. So I'm thinking, okay, it's like neon nighttime, like LA noir. I like this idea. Like, it's nice, dirty, and like it looks dull, and you know, you're gonna get into the seedy underbelly of this like steampunk looking or cyberpunk looking kind of city. So I'm thinking this is a cool idea. And as soon as I booted up the demo, I'm like, I've walked into something bad. Because gameplay wise, it is. Sorry, what?
This reminds us of one game I rented when Blockbuster was still alive. For the PS3, it was a steampunk action game, and I was like, "Hey, it looks really cool," and it was horrendous. I even checked the review on IGN after. It got a 1.
You gonna say the name?
I can't recall the name right now.
Then thank you for wasting a minute of my time.
You're welcome.
But yeah, I booted up this game, and there's no cutscene intro. There's no like zoom in. It's just you're playing. I'm like, fuck. Okay, okay, what do I do? And I walk around. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck to do. Nothing's telling you what to do. So I'm confused. I'm already like, okay, what am I doing? So I walk around this place that I'm in. Okay, there's my gun. Okay, pick up the gun. Okay, I can defend myself. I'm good. Now what? And for about 15 to 20 minutes, I just drove around in this really terrible driving mechanics. In this basically empty world with like the odd person that you can hit and they won't call the cops. So there's no ramifications for doing anything bad. And I'm looking around being like, I can't figure out what to do. Finally, I figure out how to unlock a case, which, again, if they told you how to do it, I could have figured this out like forever ago. So I wasted so much of that demo just trying to understand what to do. And then when you actually go to figure out what the case is, okay, they send you to a bar where there's a guy who's dead. I'm like, okay, cool. Check the body, check a couple things around it, you get a little bit of evidence. And then you talk to the only like NPC you can apparently talk to in this game, tells you about a person, and that's it. So you think who might have killed him, but you don't know for sure.
So the NPCs are more useless than usual?
It's lifeless. There's no voice acting, so there's no way to convey any sort of emotion to it. And it's a game that it's on, I think it's like $11-12. And I looked at it and said, man, like, you need to be putting that on for free because that's a proof of concept. That's a developer who's learning how to make a game, not an actually polished game, because it was not worth putting on a store.
Wow.
I figured that I would come across this stuff when I do demos for Steam. I did not assume I was walking into this on PS4. So as soon as that happened,
so
I'm now aware that, I mean, I already figured that out with Disaster Report because that was like a AA game that was made really fucking terribly. This is like indie trash on PlayStation. And I'm like, ooh, I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah, no, that doesn't sound good.
It feels like it was more of a student game almost.
It really felt like it was being made by somebody in college.
Yeah, because Adam and I, we tried one at EGLX. We tried a Rocket League type game, and it was pretty bad.
Yeah, but again, it's a proof of concept. This is actually out in stores now.
Yeah, I was going to say one.
You have to pay money to play this thing, and if it's anything like the demo, I think I should be paid to play that game, to be honest. Ooh. So I try to be really nice in the video, and it is on my channel if you guys want to check that out. Again, that's the casebook of Arcady Smith, but I tried so hard, and I kept saying, you know what, I really like the look of this, because graphically it's not bad, and it's the right, like, it's dark, but it has the neon glow to it, so it looks pretty cool for a detective mystery, but it just doesn't make any sense, and like, you would think that there's a certain button to access all the menus. No, one button unlocks the map. One button unlocks your fucking notebook. And I'm like, guys, like, we've been making video games for 30 years now. I think we can figure out start button or triangle or whatever. Like, one button unlocks all the menu shit. Yeah. And the worst thing, X doesn't do anything to start things. If you want to open up the computer, you have to walk into the computer.
X is like the go-to button to do anything.
There's no button activation. You have to walk into the computer. So if you walk into it and then back out, but you wanted to go back to it, you have to now turn around and walk back into it.
But why?
Because bad game design, that's why.
No,
there's bad game design, and then there's this, which is atrocious.
I don't like it.
So that was my first bit of fun. This video isn't out, but by the time that I put this out, it's going to be out the same day because it'll be out tomorrow. We're recording this on Wednesday. It will be out on Thursday. Probably this podcast will be on YouTube as well on Thursday. I also played the demo for Trials of Mana, which is the remake of the third Seiken Densetsu game, which was the sequel to Secret of Mana, I believe.
Yep.
That one was okay.
Sequel to what?
Secret of Mana, which was like a Super Nintendo
Secret
game.
of Mana. Okay.
Yeah. And the first one, the first Secret of Mana or whatever, Seiken Detsu or whatever it is, was Final Fantasy Adventure on Game Boy.
Yeah, it gets complicated.
Yeah.
Hey, Britt.
Oh, Brittany bitch is in the channel.
Party?
A little bit.
A little bit late.
Welcome to the podcast.
Wait. Sorry, who is this?
Oh, it's Brittany, bitch.
Well, speaking of train derailments. But yeah,
This is our friend Brittany.
I went through Trials of Mana, and I didn't hate it. Like, by the end of it, I said I don't think I'm gonna buy it unless it's like real cheap. The game itself, like as like a top-down hack and slash kind of RPG, perfectly fine. but the voice acting in English is fucking horrendous. Like really, really bad. Like I think YouTubers were getting paid to do this voice acting because it's fucking cheesy. And not the good kind of cheesy.
I wonder if it's got like the Japanese audio and you can do subtitles.
Oh, there is. I just didn't activate it because I felt it was perfect for the video to just keep it going. And it was great because I finally finished the first boss battle and this random spirit comes in and you're thinking, tiny ass spirit, it's probably like the squeaky voice. It is the most generic, like, dude bro voice. It's the weirdest fucking thing.
Would it have the same dialogue as the old WWE game? A winner is you, or Magneto. And
no. Translation-wise, it was fine. It's just the voice acting is so hokey as shit. Yeah. It was so bad.
Oof.
Like, was it worse than old school Resident Evil?
The majority of the cast maybe not that bad, but that spirit at the end of that first boss battle, yeah, it was that bad, if not worse. It was bad. It was out of place bad.
Fuck.
Yeah, that sucks.
But as a game, perfectly fine. I also like the touch they made in that you can put the original music in instead of the remastered. So you can play the game in new graphics with the old music instead. And I actually thought the old music fit better too.
Yeah, I like that. I like when they do that.
So that was cool. Yeah. So anyways, on to my complete emotional breakdown in video gaming. So Trails of Cold Steel 3. Sorry, what?
If you've ever seen Avengers Infinity War...
You know, I was just gonna say it, so thanks for taking it away from me.
You're welcome. Anytime.
So yeah, Trails of Cold Steel 3, 145 hours and it's over.
God.
And I gotta tell you, I cannot believe I'm saying this because I didn't think it was possible. This might actually end up being, like, recency bias aside, this may end up in the long run be my favorite game of all time.
More than Mass Effect 2?
Yes. More than Mass Effect 2.
Chrono Cross?
More than Chrono Cross, more than Final Fantasy X.
More than Madden?
No, maybe not Madden.
Oh, okay, fine.
But legitimately, I don't think...
Makes sense.
I don't think I have felt this emotionally attached during a game than I did playing this game. I'm not sure because, again, I obviously don't videotape myself when I'm playing games, but I have not reacted so strongly than I did in the last, 10 hours of that game. Although I did tell you it several times I was getting, emotionally, invested in certain things. But these last 10 hours, I fucking cried. I got really angry at the end, full on.
Cried.
Yeah, legit cried.
Crying erections.
Ejaculating.
Boing.
And Adam's dick cried 3 times harder that day.
Oh, God.
Knock, knock, knock.
But legit, that game has Infinity War level cliffhanger thrown on you, to which to be whoa! Not half the population is dead, but more
spoiler alert.
What the fuck are they gonna do?
Wait, so the game ends on a cliffhanger after 145 fucking hours?
It's a brutal cliffhanger too.
That's why for me God of War 1 I liked better than God of War 2. Because the ending of God of War 2 made me want to throw my PS2 controller at my TV.
This, I legitimately went up because I woke up early and I should have known it was a bad omen because on a weekend I woke up at 6 a.m. and couldn't go to sleep. But I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna go finish this game. I'll probably finish it some point today because I figured there was more time. I didn't think I only had 2 hours to go. So at 8:30, I finished the game and I didn't know what the fuck to do. I sat there and didn't know what to do. I kept looking at my shelf being like, I want to boot up Yakuza 6, but I can't. I can't bring myself to do it. So I'm trying to do anything. I'm trying to listen to a podcast or whatever. And I keep pausing it because I'm just broke for an hour.
You're laying on the floor listening to
Good thing you
music.
didn't play it at 9 p.m. because you wouldn't have slept.
Oh, I still sat in bed staring at the ceiling thinking about it, and I'm still thinking about it now.
All around me.
I gotta tell you, man, after we watched Infinity Wars, I couldn't sleep, and we watched it the midnight screen.
I slept like a baby after Infinity War, I'm not gonna lie.
He's everybody's dead?
Well, here's the thing. This is all I'll say. In Infinity War, you knew even without the actual movie telling you, you knew everybody who got snapped is coming back. Trails of Cold Steel 3.
You didn't know how.
Trails of Cold Steel 3, whoever dies in this game, I know are dead, and that's why it hurts. Not to mention, some people that die in this game have been around since the original Trials games. So if you've been playing the entire series, you lost people that are 7 games old.
And they're dead forever.
Yes. So if you are really invested into this series, you got hurt hard.
Is Trails of Cold Steel 4 out or no?
It will be out in the fall. It's out in Japan. It will be out in the fall, we're being told, for North America. So I don't have to wait terribly long. So it's almost like Infinity War to Endgame, I guess.
That gives me time to play all 6 games leading up to it.
I don't think so.
But yeah,
maybe.
the more that I've thought about it...
The only game Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm going to finish up and then move on to my next game. So you finish your thought.
All I was going to say, the only game that I think the ending actually affected me emotionally was the PS4 game, Spider-Man.
Oh, that's for good reason. That's for good reason.
Because that one, I'm just like, soul literally broke at the end of that game.
But yeah, I've thought more about it now that I've had a few days since I finished it. And man, like, if you could make a perfect JRPG, this is like a perfect modern JRPG. This is the reference point right now to me.
And it's turn-based, right?
Yep.
Fuck yeah.
But it's a very good complex turn-based because positioning means something, timing means something. So there's a lot more to it. The story, like I said, now that 3 games in, like, it has done a phenomenal job at playing politics in video games and not coming off as, like, I guess, like, showboating or, like, trying to, like, put a certain message in. It's basically just showing the evils of, like, political dictatorships and the class system of rich and poor. Serious issues that we don't really have to deal with now as much, but the extremes of it and probably what it was like say 200 years ago, 300 years ago are like in full display here. And then when you mix that with some pretty damn good music, some great character designs, actually I'm really liking this new cast they brought in for this game. Because since you're at a different school as an older student now, you're now a teacher, so now there's a whole brand new set of students. I love this whole new set. Actually, all the NPCs I like a lot more in this game than the original 2, so they've improved so much after 2 games, and I'm thinking, fuck, I got 1 more to go. This is going to be fucking balls to the wall bullshit, because they've now gone from just straight up as close to realist school, like, political game, now it's going supernatural, and it's getting fucking crazy.
Damn.
And I do not regret a single ounce of that 145 hours I put into it, and adding the other like 200 plus that I've put into the other 2 games.
Well, it sounds like that it was like every second was almost worth it, even with the like side missions and everything. Like,
the side missions for the most part, like, there's a lot of quirky ones too that I thought were pretty fun, so it was kind of nice. So,
and Adam, you said the music's really good?
Yeah, the music's actually pretty solid too. I mean,
they're all on Spotify.
It's not. Yeah, I've seen that too. They're not like I'm gonna put it on and listen to them in the car level, but like they're great atmospheric music. So after all that, and after probably a couple hours of sitting there trying to figure out what the fuck to do with myself, I needed something to do. And it was free last month, so I figured, screw it, I'll give it a shot. So I finished Uncharted 4 in a couple of days.
Porn.
In a couple days?
Yep, I finished in about, I want to say it took me about 8 to 10 hours.
Sorry, which game?
Uncharted 4. If you weren't making porn jokes, you could have heard that.
Oh, okay. I can't help it. It's only natural. That's what she said.
I don't want to talk about a game he likes now. So I'm going to move on. No, I'm just kidding.
No, please, no, please.
So, I don't know. I'm sure I've said it on the podcast a few times, but for those who are listening to it that don't know, I actually don't care much for Uncharted. I played the original trilogy when it was packaged on the PS4 and didn't care for it much. Like, Uncharted 2, I'm told so many times, is like one of the greatest games of all time, and I don't see it. But I played through Uncharted 4, and I gotta tell you,
I feel that way because of the gap of when you played it?
No, I just think they're over-glorified shooting galleries. But I gotta tell you, Uncharted 4 is actually really fucking good.
You liked it?
Well, here's the thing. Wow. They solved the biggest problem I have with it. There's not an infinite respawning enemy going on. There's a set amount, and it's manageable. There are points in the original trilogy that I'm fighting enemies, and they just don't stop. I'm like, guys, I know that you can't have this many people. We're in the middle of the fucking jungle. You can't have that big an army. because and it was like this.
Maybe.
It was like this all the time in old Call of Duty games, where it wasn't that you had a set amount of enemies on the map. It's you had to actually progress to a certain point for the respawning to stop. And I don't like that in shooting games because, again, it's creating the illusion of you're a one-man army. The idea of Uncharted 4 to me is this is your set amount of guys, figure out how to kill them. So if there's like 10 guys in this area, you got 10 guys to deal with. One of them has an RPG, one of them has a grenade launcher.
I will agree with you on that because there are some parts of Uncharted in the series where you can't progress until you kill everybody in the level. And frankly, at a certain point, I'm like, when the fuck is this gonna stop?
Yeah, it just got ridiculous after a while. So I played all through 3 of them because I didn't have internet at that time, so I needed to play through something offline. But now that I got 4, I'm actually really impressed with what they pulled off on that because the game itself was pretty good. I like that the villains weren't over the top extravagant like some of them are, where they end up being like this crazy Russian brute or some some level like that.
Though.
I didn't care for him. I thought it was too generic. I think with these ones though, they felt more real. Although I was a little bit disappointed that Nadine kind of just vanishes at the end and there's nothing that comes of it.
But she's in the lost levels though.
I know, but again, it was just one of those things of like there was no resolution
like,
to it, so it's like she just happens to get away with treasure, I guess, in the 4th game, which was a little bit weird. But I like the fact that they've now opened the door to having a new set of Uncharted games without it having to be Nathan Drake forever. They've opened the door now, which I appreciate. Because a lot of games,
if any of the Uncharted ever came to PC as a collection, I'd buy that day one as well.
I have offered to lend you my PS4. Right now, I can't because it's all I have right now.
Well, there's the bingo card again.
No, it's not that.
Plus the quarantine.
I would want to own them because that's the type of game I would play like once every 10 years just to play through it again.
So yeah, Uncharted 4 was actually really good. Enjoyed the fact that it was a good mixture of puzzles and exploration and combat. None of them felt like they were overtaking the other. Not to mention, there wasn't any point in the game that I ended up like getting lost and trying to figure out why the fuck I can't get up this wall. It relatively took me not too long to figure shit out, which I appreciate too, because sometimes in those games, it's like that one tiny little edge you just can't notice because you pass it so many times and you just don't think anything of it anymore. Thankfully, that doesn't happen. Everything's pretty clearly.
Had that as well, though.
What?
Like like you got to go to point A to point B, but it's like it's not overly obvious. Like it's displayed, but it's not overly obvious of like where do you need to go.
No, sure, but at the same time, like with Uncharted, the problem that I have with a couple of the older ones is that some of the ways to get around it aren't as obvious because sometimes they look a little bit too out of your reach. But it's just like, no, just make the jump, it's fine. Whereas in this game, I pretty much could tell right away where I needed to go, and even without any hand-holding, it was perfectly fine. So yeah, like...
Did you like the throwback to Crash Bandicoot?
Oh, of course.
Yes.
and I barely beat the high score at the ending. I barely beat it.
Oh my god. Crash is actually pretty rage-inducing if you play it now. I can tell you from playing the reboot.
Yeah. But other than that, I started up Yakuza 6 finally, and I gotta tell you, I am slowly learning how to become a father playing that game because you now have to take care of a baby in the early points of that game.
Oh, great. Adam, are you breastfeeding?
No, but I am constantly having to shake a baby every time he fucking starts crying. The best part is, though, because random battles happen all the time.
Wait, that's not what you do?
It's Japan. What do you expect to happen?
Any kind of survival. Any kind.
Normally in a Yakuza game, you will end up getting like challenged to fights by random punks no matter where you go. In this game, it's hilarious because if you end up getting challenged to a punk because you're always carrying this baby in one arm, you'll literally just hand the baby to a stranger and then proceed to beat the shit out of guys until it's over. And it does this every time. So it cuts away for a sec to show him just handing the baby to somebody and the other guy looking like, what, why are you giving me this? And he just proceeds to kick the shit out of 3 guys. It's great. I fucking love it.
That is pretty amazing.
But I've only put like 3, 4, 5 hours into it, so I haven't gotten like anywhere in the story yet. But there's apparently a baseball aspect to this game that I'm really excited to do because I always like baseball mini games, so I'm down for that.
They're so fun and just like addicting.
And I mean, I will say I have a little bit of bias as well because they have the New Japan Pro Wrestling guys in this game as well as like another gang, so that's kind of cool for me.
Ooh.
Although it's a little bit weird that the guy who normally wears really colorful golden like robes, he's now just wearing black and white. I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's like somebody put him in Photoshop and then just turned the hue all the way down. Or sorry, not the hue, the saturation. So there's just no color.
Oh, I somehow knew what you meant.
But yeah, it's for an early few hours, it's kind of cool. I mean, I will admit it's a little bit annoying that, you know, at one point in the game you have to try to find milk for the kid, and every time you take a little bit too long, you have to do a side quest where you have to just make him happy, whether it's swinging him side to side, and you have to use the controller like thing with that, so you have to raise the controller up and down or whatever else. And I'm like, man, I had to do this 5 times just to find powdered milk for the kid, and then it turns out he wasn't even hungry, he was just sleepy, so I just yelled at the TV, then go to sleep, you fucking little shit. But for now, it's fine. I haven't gotten far enough to really see what it is, so. Again.
I think you're ready, Adam.
How many times, like,
Adam,
it's now a weekly thing with this podcast where he says he'll be right back, and I want to just tell him, we have a Discord for a reason. There's supposed to be an illusion that we're always here and never leave.
The audience doesn't need to know.
At least this time he didn't say to take a piss.
This is true. He'll say it when he gets back.
Yeah, no kidding. Otherwise...
Is that everything you've played?
That is pretty much everything I've played. I mean, there's one more game that I've been setting up for the demo, but that I might as well save because that won't be posted till next week, so I won't really bother with that yet. I will say I'm unsure about how I'm going to do with Steam demos because not only do I feel like I'm going to get much terrible stuff in it, but at the same time I have a bad feeling because the Steam store is really weird when it comes to demos because they still have their list, but some of them don't have the demos on them anymore. And sometimes you'll click the download demo and it just refreshes the page instead.
Yeah.
So I'm a little torn, and so many of these games don't have actual release dates on them. So it's hard to say like when I should be recording these because I'm trying to release them like as they're about to come out. Like Trials of Mana, like I said, is coming out Friday, so I'm putting the video out the day before so people can have that.
Yeah. I mean, you could...
No.
Yes, for sure. You could start a new YouTube series called I Play One of My Friends' Steam Games, and you just go into my library. There's an option in Steam now where it gives you just a random game from your library to play. I can't remember where it is. It's a new feature they've started to help people just tackle their backlog without thinking. You should just do that.
Well, I mean, XCOM Chimera Squad is coming soon, so.
I mean, I just downloaded Resident Evil 3 today.
Yeah, you did.
Well, I'm hoping to finish it before I start my new profession on Monday. So
I mean, that means you just need 6 to 7 hours.
Exciting.
Yeah, you should.
I know.
You should finish it.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah, I'm actually even considering waking up at like 6 a.m. on
You
Saturday
don't need to do that much. You don't need a full day.
Yeah, it's or do like 3 hours twice.
Look, Vish, I know you're real bad at video games, but you're not that bad.
Yeah.
I know where you live, bitch.
That doesn't mean I have to unlock the door.
You can't go there. It's a pandemic.
I don't have to unlock the door.
This is true.
You can't even get in. You can't even get in the building unless I let you in. So you're not even have to. I don't even have to worry about you getting to my floor.
And it's like an $880 ticket if you get caught.
Yeah, is it worth it? No.
To beat up Adam, it might be.
No, just slander him over text like we do.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Oh shoot! Don't tell Adam.
Why? Because I sent you a picture that was quite unpleasant today.
You've done worse. You've done much worse. So there's this one. No, we're moving on. We're not going off topic for the third time when we're already an hour in. I haven't even done the other segments yet.
What have you been doing lately?
Sleeping, Animal Crossing, TikTok. That's it.
Yes.
All at the same time.
Me and Brittany have been sending each other turnip prices every day.
What have you been doing on TikTok?
Oh, I just watch videos for hours on end. I don't have a life.
So you're deplorable like the rest of us. Good to know.
Yeah.
You have a life. It's in Animal Crossing. You're living on an island. It's a paradise that you're allowed to run. And every time you do something, you owe somebody $700,000.
I know my debt to Tom Nook is it's slowly getting down. You know, I'm moving on to a
Wow,
basement
this
soon.
Tom is a fucking bitch.
Tom Nook is he's a real piece of work.
I saw an article on the internet that was Tom Nook is a communist Nazi prick or something like that. And it was a whole article about this stupid raccoon just gouging people for money. And I was like, this is true. I
love
understand that reference.
I love there's like TikToks about like Tom Nook watching me sell like 460 clumps of weeds to his son every day, and I'm like, accurate.
Yeah, accurate. Because like, why would you buy them for $10?
You're selling Tom his weed?
No, like
Absolutely.
weeds off the ground.
Not
Like you picked up a
selling
weed.
his
I know.
kids'
I know.
weed.
I know what I said, and I know what I meant.
Amazing.
So I guess other than that, we'll get into our other stuff before we get to the end of the show. So releases, major releases at least for the next this being the week of April 27th and May 3rd, because we already went through the other stuff. I may end up not doing it next week just based on timing, because it's getting ahead of myself.
True.
But this is what we're looking forward to come the following week. So on the 28th, we have Gears Tactics, which is I'm assuming it's very going to be similar like Halo Tactics was, or Halo Wars, I should say. So it's probably going to be like an RTS in the Gears of War franchise.
Yeah, they said it's kind of like XCOM.
Is it a free-for-all, or?
No, it'll be like
Battle
a single
Royale,
player.
I mean?
No, it'll be like a single player, like like strategy game.
Yeah, it's apparently a lot like XCOM, but with many improvements, differences.
And then XCOM was like, "Here's ours."
Yeah, and the Gears one is like $80, I think, to pre-order. And
yeah, and Chimera,
$15.
they put half off too. So they were like,
half off,
yeah, fuck Gears Tactics. You're all going to be playing this.
Yeah.
I mean, it was smart by them. This game is what I was talking about demo-wise that I played, but it's going to come out later. But Moving Out, which is made by the same guys who do Overcooked.
Yes.
So for the unfamiliar one,
or something?
well, I figure I always have to describe these things to Vish, because Vish is so out of touch on anything that isn't like AAA.
True, very true.
Overcooked is basically like a multiplayer couch like co-op game that you play where you have to like make food. It's very child-like arcadey looking. And it's basically
but
just
rage-inducing.
Yeah, it's over the top. Like you're just trying to make food, and you can burn the place down by accident because you don't pay attention to the fucking burner. And then the maps will start moving. Like there's one where you go on a pirate ship, and if the tide comes in, all the tables start getting moved around, so placement gets totally fucked up. So it's pretty cool.
And the four of you are trying to like prepare meals and stuff as a team.
When I was going back to when I was talking about earlier, the steampunk game for PS3 that was absolutely horrendous. It's called Damnation.
You have the weirdest timing I've ever seen.
I know. No, I was wondering what it was called, but then I finally found it because I remember the triple-barreled gun the guy had, and I was like, "Hey, this looks pretty cool."
Vish, I'll give you a joke here. What's the secret to comedy? Timing.
What's the joke?
That's the point. That's what you were there. So, anyways, Moving Out is basically similar to what Overcooked is, but Moving Out is grabbing stuff from a house and moving it into a moving truck, but there's always going to be obstacles in the way. So, like, for example, one of the places I went to is like a haunted house, so there are statues that try to knock you out when you're moving shit.
That's amazing.
And it's just as cheesy and stupid as Overcooked is, so it's something that's probably going to make us all want to fight each other if we play it.
And it's like physics-based,
fun.
so like as two people grab a table, like one person can be moving more up and then one's moving more down, and like you're not cooperating at all, and you'll walk to a wall and you'll just destroy the wall and you end up destroying the house.
Yeah, you can just straight up jump through people's windows and crash through it like you're a fucking action star.
Grab the couch and just throw it through the window.
Yep.
Like it's a funny physics-based looking like co-op game, which looks so fun. Simple but fun.
Yep. Sorry, go ahead.
What is this on?
This is going... Oh, yeah, I didn't say it. So Gears Tactics, by the way, it's PC, it's set, but Xbox One's date hasn't been announced. Moving Out is going to be for PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Switch, so it's going to be for everything.
Oh, okay.
The next thing up...
Switch would be a good one for them to put that on.
Absolutely, it would. The next thing up is Sakura Wars, which is a really old franchise that is based in Japan. It's almost like a hack and slash, has a bit of like a Gundam-ish kind of vibe to it. I've
Soccer
seen
Wars.
Sakura or Sakura or however else you want to pronounce it.
Oh, okay.
I've seen trailers for it. It looks like a PS3 game on a PS4, so I'm not going anywhere near it.
Yeah.
Next up is that's just PS4, by the way. Snow Runner is the next one up, which if anybody's ever heard of the game Mud Runner or Mud Runners, I think it is. It's a physics-based driving game where you have to try to tow stuff in really, really, really like gross conditions, almost like you're watching it like the Ice Road Truckers like TV show kind of level shit.
Oh yeah.
So Snow Runner is made by the same guys. This one obviously being one where you're dealing with things like ice and snow. Like, so you're probably going to be driving over lakes and trying not to destroy your loads. So basically, it's like Euro Truck Simulator with fucking weather conditions.
Dang.
So that I've been wanting to try Mud Runners, but I've never seen a decent price on it for Steam for me to try it. So I've never gotten around to even trying that. But I've seen people play it. It looks rage-inducing, so it looks kind of fun.
Yeah, that definitely sounds fun. Like something I'd give a try.
Next up, it's already out on PS4, but Xbox One and PC will be getting the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 campaign remaster.
Oh yeah.
Which I don't know why I want to replay the campaign in HD. To be honest, that one I was confused because I'm like, guys, why is that being released in HD but not the multiplayer? Because like it's just a campaign. Like it's not that important.
They released it for like $20. I'd pick it up, but they won't.
I didn't find the Modern Warfare campaigns were that great.
I mean, they're fine. It's a standard shooter campaign.
Black Ops was really
enjoyed
good,
it.
but Modern Warfare, I just saw was like they're okay.
Well, that's probably because it was too normal. Like Black Ops at least took some chances and tried some weird shit.
The schizophrenia with Victor Reznov, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. But I mean, like again, like I don't know if I like the idea. I think it's a cool thing to do if like people like nostalgia, and obviously in these trying times, you know, it's nice to have something a little bit extra to go back and remember. But as somebody who's played the game, I can't understand paying any amount of money just to play the campaign with cooler graphics. It's not that big a deal.
I mean, if it was $20 and then it goes on sale, I'd buy it.
Yeah.
And play through it. But if it's anything more than $20 for just the campaign, I don't see it.
And even then, it's like meh. I don't.
You're like, with $20, I could buy some food. How many chicken McGriddles would that get you?
Oh, that would get
they
you
don't have them
about.
anymore.
What?
I went to McDonald's this morning and they said they're done selling them. They're all gone. They're no more.
I'm killing
But
myself.
that see that makes
There's
no
more to live for
sense.
than chicken
They
McGriddle.
have the ingredients.
I know, it's just the junior chicken, but put on the other thing.
Are you kidding?
And
Yeah.
Brittany,
Fast food places,
Yeah.
can you stop
who's
being
gonna groom the
retarded?
dogs right now.
What?
Do you want the dogs to have matted hair?
Dogs have very matted hair.
Vishal,
Do you want them to right now though?
No.
Vishal,
Then
this is the fourth
Adam?
time on this show you have said something completely fucking random.
Brittany's
I'm-
a dog groomer.
I'm getting very tempted to boot you from this call.
He's pulling the mic.
It's happened.
Good fucking lord, the bingo card has erupted in flames.
It's on fire.
But the last thing coming out on the 30th, actually, yeah, for all 4 major consoles, I'm not counting Google Stadia because who gives a fuck. Streets of Rage 4, finally making a
That I'm excited
comeback.
for.
Google
they
Streets of Rage.
actually have a mod for there's a 8-bit there's a pixel version of the game as well.
I mean, I don't know if I want to play it real. I want to play it pixel.
Yeah, I would want it to be, yeah.
I mean, it's like going back to the Sega Genesis collection, going and playing Streets of Rage all over again.
Hex, yeah, I got that. I'd play that.
Streets of Rage 4.
So, moving on then, Streets of Rage. I mean, what can I say? It's good old fashioned beat the shit out of shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, what else do I got to tell
Hey,
you?
who's making food?
Oh, is that probably
that would
Alex in
be
the
Alex.
background?
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
Hey, Alex.
so last week she was doing dishes. Now she's making food. So we're catching her early this time.
Yeah. Yes, that's true.
So this week in gaming is a lot bigger than last week,
Huh?
especially 2 days in particular. So this is going from the 17th to tomorrow, the 23rd. So on the 17th, just one game of relative intrigue came out, 2006. I don't know if any of you have heard this. It got some like critical acclaim back in the days of the Xbox. The game is called Dreamfall: The Longest Journey.
No.
Oh, I've never played it, but I do know about that, and they either released it on. I think it's on PC. Yeah, I think
This
it's
is the game that kind of reminded me that I actually need to look up games before I buy them, because I bought it just because the cover and the back looked kind of cool. And then I played it, and it was basically third-person Myst, and I went, this is boring as shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was bored out of my mind playing that thing. And the story wasn't even that interesting in the opening bits, so I'm like, So, it has notoriety for being like a critically acclaimed game, but I'm wondering if it's critically acclaimed because it's more of the artsy variety than it
And
is.
Is it point and click?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Is it one of those things where like it's so artsy and like supposedly deep that like critics loved it, but the general audience was like,
I mean, I couldn't
This is
tell you. I got
boring as
far enough
shit.
to find that out. Because the puzzles made no sense either. That's how I called it Myst. Because the puzzles, I got lost. I got less frustrated playing The Witness than I did playing this fucking game.
Ooh, I've always wanted to play The Witness.
what is the witness?
It's
I've
just
never heard
it's
of it.
straight up just puzzles. Like, it's just an endless stream of puzzles. And they all intertwine, so it gets really difficult if you go the wrong way, and it just gets confusing as shit. And I got so mad at that too, because I'm like, I don't even know if I'm in the right place anymore. So it got frustrating. That was it for the 17th. On the 18th, only one thing to note: the Game Boy Advance version of Harvest Moon, which was called Friends of Mineral Town, which I played a lot on emulators because
Fuck.
I like my
Yeah.
Harvest Moon games. This is Harvest Moon before Stardew Valley became a
there-
thing.
It's not actually Harvest Moon. It's a completely different game, but it's similar.
Well, it's basically a Game Boy Advance version of Harvest Moon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Man, that Harvest Moon on Super Nintendo was one of my favorite Super Nintendo games.
I defaulted to
Is that
64 actually.
Game with Pit?
Yeah, 64 was also really good. They introduced strawberries, and that's when you know shit is
Fuck
getting
yeah!
Is that the one with Pit from Smash Brothers?
What?
What? Harvest
Hey.
Moon is a farming game.
You're thinking Kid Icarus?
Okay.
Yeah, you're thinking Kid Icarus.
No.
No.
I don't know where you're
There's-
going then.
Okay, let me see.
He is not in Harvest Moon.
No, harvest like harvesting grain.
Like, if maybe you can fall into a pit. I don't know.
Yeah, there's the little gnomes that you find, and then they upgrade one of your.
I mean, there
tools, like
are pets in Harvest Moon. I mean, that's
Oh, I
close.
love that.
Yep. There's a dog. You can get cats.
And you can get a waifu. My first waifu simulator experience was Harvest Moon 64.
I always went for the blonde that worked at the bar.
Yeah, Karen was the only interesting one, because everything else was like a horrible trope. You had the girl with glasses that only read all day long.
Okay, I'm thinking Ness and Lucas.
Oh, you're way off there.
Earthbound.
You are
You're thinking
way
Earthbound.
off.
That's an RPG.
Okay, Earthbound, not Harvest Moon. Okay.
Yeah, no, Harvest Moon is a farmer. that
Harvest
you
Moon was
made.
just funny because you had Karen who worked at a vineyard, and her father was a drunk, so she was more just like the most real person there. But you had Maria.
Karen was the one with the hair highlight.
Yeah, she was.
Is that why she complains
Yeah,
to the
she was
manager
hot.
sales?
Maybe
Is that why she complains?
maybe
to the
that's why.
apartment
It's because her
manager?
father was a drunk. But
Oh,
but
okay.
you had Maria
That's
who
also
was
what excites me about her.
Yeah, you had Maria, who was your like over the top like bookworm. You had Anne, who was like the redheaded farmer girl. You had, I think it was
tomboy.
Elle, who was like the straight housewife. Like, she always wore like an apron and just all she
Yeah,
did was
short
cook.
brown hair. She looked like a Karen.
Yeah. And then you had Potpourri, which was the Japanese girl, which was basically the over the top pink everything girl.
Yep. Her name in the original Super Nintendo one, her name was Nina, and she worked at the flower shop.
And then they were
They
like,
changed her
that's
name.
not flower enough. We're going to call her Potpourri.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, holy shit. In Super Nintendo, I went for Eve. That was the blonde who worked at the bar.
And
You
then
could visit her late.
after Friends of Mineral Town, we don't talk about Harvest Moon because I got shit from there on.
Yeah.
Once they went
That's why I wanna
3D,
get the-
it got shit.
Yeah. Apparently now the good ones are the Story of Seasons because it's the original team.
Yeah,
And that's what they make now. And Harvest Moon is owned by the Natsume or whatever company,
Yeah.
but it's not the same developers, and that's why it went to shit.
Yeah, it just got a little out of hand. April 19th, I should say. Almost went way in advance there. 1982, so we going far back. Dig Dug.
Jeez. Oh, Dig Dug.
Never played
Shit's so
that.
good. He digs and he dugs.
I kind of figured that out.
No.
It's pretty good.
It's a lie. It's a game about communism.
Oh, I know this game.
Oh, communism, yes. yes.
I don't- I
Right,
don't-
I know that.
I can't
Break out
remember
the shovels,
playing it,
boys.
but I
It's time for
do-
communism.
I love it.
2007, making a big jump here. This is not the original game, but this is the expansion of it, which is Persona 3 FES, which is the better version because it has an extra story to it, which is fucking good. That is the
Do you like that one?
that is the first Persona game I played, and that was when I was like, oh, these JRPGs can be good again. Because right around the time the Persona started becoming a thing, JRPGs on the PS2 fucking sucked. Because all they were, like, after Final Fantasy X and X-2, most JRPGs were anime girl on the cover and nothing else.
Xenosaga was fantastic. What are you talking
Well,
about?
Xenosaga came around the same time. I'm talking, like, when you got into, like, your... Like, when everything was coming... Like, I know there was Your Disguise and Phantom Braves, but then you had things like Magna Carta and fucking...
yeah.
Oh my god,
Ugh.
there's so many. I'm thinking of so many. I'm like Steambot Chronicles. Like there were so many that you knew the cover was just there to get teenage boys that were like starving for anime boobs to fucking buy the game. And I know this because I was that teenage boy.
I was just gonna say you.
And all those games are sitting on your shelf.
Nope, they are all gone. I sold those right back to EB Games, but I could still get $20 for them.
Oh, yeah.
That was back when EB Games actually gave you money for them too.
Rip.
You want to talk about dating myself? After that, we've been talking. Oddly enough, both games we've talked about on this podcast are on this list. So in 2011, Mortal Kombat 9, or AKA Mortal Kombat Reboot, came out on the 19th.
Oh wow!
Wait, are you kidding me? I played it on its anniversary?
Yeah.
Oh, cute.
Oh my god, guys.
Also,
Anniversary.
on the same day, Portal 2 came out.
Oh, one of the greatest games ever made, ever.
That was a great fucking game.
They look like they're.
Dude, just install it on your PC and play.
Yeah.
Do it.
Al-
It takes like
also,
10 hours to play
also,
through the
J.K.
story,
Simmons,
quote, unquote.
man.
Yeah, J.K. Simmons.
J.
is in it.
Jonah Jameson is basically in Portal 2. It's fucking
Yeah.
great.
He one of the main characters, or
He's the CEO.
Yeah, he's
that
the
ran
CEO
company
of
that
Aperture
ran
Science,
Portal.
so he just ends up going off in complete gibberish sometimes, and it's fucking hysterical.
Oh. And I can't remember the actor from England that plays
Oh, the plays Wheatley shit.
Beatley?
It's
What's his
it's
name in the
Wheatley.
game? Wheatley. Beasley, Wheatley, same shit.
Is it Steve? Is it
Yeah,
Stephen Merchant?
oh.
No, it's not Stephen Merchant, is it?
It might be. I think that actually might be who it is.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it is Stephen Merchant. Yes, I got a memory.
Yay! It still works.
And then he got horrendously like killed off in Logan.
Oh, he did. Oh, why did you have to bring it back there? Why'd you have to do that?
And then we were talking about waifu simulators earlier with Harvest Moon. The last game on the 19th that came out in 2012 was Fire Emblem Awakening, which in my opinion is the best Fire Emblem game because I haven't played Three Houses yet. Because fuck you, Nintendo, for
I've
making
only
Switches
played Three
expensive.
Especially right now.
Yeah, no kidding.
Actually, I'm just looking at something. Apparently, they designed a Switch for $200.
Oh, I'm
Oh, the
sure
guy
it's
that built his
doable.
own.
But Nintendo's like, but does it play Breath of the Wild, which you can still only buy for $65?
True.
Fucking
4
assholes.
years later.
This is where things get a little bit crazy. So April the 20th, there are 3 Fire Emblem games on this day. I'm not kidding.
What?
Fire
3
Emblem
separate from
apparently
different years?
yes. So
Wow.
apparently in this 2-day
Apparently they
span,
love their weed
in
on
2-day
Fire Emblem.
span, 4 Fire Emblem games have come out in history. That's fucking phenomenal.
They love
crazy.
their weed.
So in 1990, I'm going to butcher this, but this is Fire Emblem Enkoku Ryu to Hikari no Tsurugi, which is Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light, which is, for Super Smash Bros. Fans, is where Marth was introduced.
Yep.
Oh.
Still never
What year was
played it.
this?
1990. So this is like the old ones that never got brought to the
NES.
States.
Martha is 30 years old?
Yes.
Yeah.
What
NES.
a daddy.
Fire
Wow.
Emblem started a long time ago. We just never saw any of them until the Game Boy Advance.
I'm sorry, Britt, did you just call him daddy?
Said what a daddy.
Wow.
I mean, she's not lying. He's a
Way to take it there.
he's a hell of a hunk, I tell you.
Who is your daddy?
Speaking of waifu
Your
simulators,
turn.
Marth.
Husbando? Would that be husbando?
Speaking of husbandos, in 1995, this is completely unrelated. I'm just making a really shitty segue. Knuckles Chaotix,
Yes.
which was
Greatest
which was a
32X game ever.
which was a thing.
Only 32X game I can remember. ever.
Forgotten
back
Sonic
in
the
a
Hedgehog
second.
series game. That's the second time he's done that.
Yep.
God damn it. People are probably listening to this podcast in audio form being like, why? These guys are so
Why?
We're definitely the most unprofessional podcast. Let's not hide this fact.
Professional podcast.
And then we get to one of my favorite games of all time. In 2000 on the PlayStation, or I don't think it got released anywhere else now that I think about it. Mega Man Legends 2, which, unpopular opinion, I love the Legends games far more than the actual original Mega Man games.
I've never played them, but I have heard they're very good.
They're really good because it's like third person, like shooter, like RPG almost, and it's fucking really good, and they're actually really fun. It's almost
Where's his helmet?
It's almost anime in a way. Well, you get the helmet by the end if you get like the armor set. It's the helmet is like the ultimate armor essentially. And the great thing too,
Is it a prequel or something?
no, it's like its own side story. It's almost like a different Mega Man in a way.
Oh, okay.
The best part that I always liked about those games, side note, is that you could customize your buster, so you could go straight power or you could go straight rapid fire. So you can have like really slow but almost like rocket launcher level power blasts, or you can go straight up like machine gun levels because you can customize the speed, the power levels, the spread. So there's all these things like that actually make your buster like your own. So I thought that was really cool as well. Also, the music's really underrated in that game. The music's pretty cool.
Amazing.
And also, it's anime as fuck, so of course I get a radical seal of approval to that one.
I've returned. What did I miss?
Nothing important.
A story of epic proportion.
You left?
Yeah.
No, which so we left off at Marth's debut. What did I miss?
You missed a really forgettable Sonic the Hedgehog game that Knuckles was part of on the 32X, and a Mega Man game that is not a Mega Man game.
Oh, okay.
In 2005, more Fire Emblem: Path of Radiance, which I believe was GameCube.
Wow. Fire Emblem really loves this.
Which I remember playing once and getting really mad at because it was, I think the GameCube, now that I think about it, I think the GameCube and Wii games were actually notoriously a little bit harder than most were.
Interesting.
Also, Japan likes taking the piss out of us North Americans by like just making games extra hard.
Yeah, I don't know what they're trying to do to their population, but they don't actually like them.
And then they're like, okay, we're gonna make the hardest games ever, and now Dark Souls is a thing that everybody loves. So
Oh, Dark
True. They were
Souls.
just training us.
a couple games
They
came
were on
out.
our side the whole time.
Couple games came out in 2006 for, I believe it would have been Game Boy Advance or DS. I can't remember which one, but Mother 3, the elusive Mother 3, the sequel to Earthbound,
That is Game Boy Advance.
which has gotten an English sort of
Fan translation?
not
Yeah,
not
there's a
not like
unofficial fan
legally.
Yeah.
Which is also known for being one of the
Though
darkest
apparently they
fucking
actually
games
have-
ever.
Like, you can actually buy carts of the fan translation.
Yeah.
Like, they've actually gone as far as to make it like a physical copy of the fan translation game.
But yeah, that game is known for being really deceptively dark and probably one of the darker games in our history as games.
Poor Reggie
From
from
that's
Nintendo.
so dark.
They go real, like super real. Because Earthbound
Like, I think
is
they did
already
in the original Earthbound. too.
yeah. Mother 3 is notorious though for really taking death a lot more like often and seriously in Mother 3, so it's pretty hard. And I don't mean hard as
'Cause I'm
gameplay. I
pretty
mean
sure that-
story wise, like they go hard in the paint
Yeah.
for emotion.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that even the original Earthbound, there was a lot of things in there that the developer didn't even like. They didn't say outright, but like it's shown, and that you kind of just figure it
Well,
out.
dude, the final
Like,
boss
the
of
main-
Earthbound is literally like the developer's nightmares when he was a kid.
Yeah, like, and it's got like a baby, and people are like, it's something about fighting a fetus or fighting
What the fuck?
Yeah,
the
it's
concept of
yeah.
abortion.
When you
or
get
something.
whenever
Like,
you
it's
whenever you get a
creepy.
chance, look up the origins like Earthbound's final boss. It's fucking creepy.
Yeah, it is messed right up, and
It's
it's,
like
it makes you think, but like in a good way.
Because I was telling Chris about like there's some parts of Metal Gear Phantom Pain that are like really like almost difficult to play through because it's so fucking disturbing, and it's not like horror disturbing. It's like this is too real.
Well,
for
the
my
thing,
liking.
at least with Metal Gear, is it's also a mature game. Earthbound was like designed to look like a kid's game. Like it's a children's
Somebody's
design
got
to
Rona.
Sneezing is not a symptom of Rona. Thank you.
Oh, great.
Sorry,
It's got
she-
the
It's how you
Rona.
spread it, though.
See, she just has a co-virus.
Yeah.
But the other game
Corona
that came
done
out, the other game that came out on the same day is Okami.
Oh,
Oh, I've
beautiful
never
game.
played it, but I feel like it's awesome.
Oh, it's even in its original form, it still looks incredible for the time.
The HD remake is on my Steam wish list just because I'm not buying games,
Yeah.
but it will happen one
Have
day.
you played it, Adam?
I played it like maybe at a friend's place, but I've never owned the game.
Oh, okay.
But
I played it on PS3, and I don't know how.
It's just a cool like your standard platform, but it has a really cool mechanic of you can create magic spells, but you have to actually paint them. So you have to paint like
Yeah.
the symbol.
Yeah, it was really cool. And you're a wolf. Like, I mean,
You're basically you're a god, right?
You're a D-Dog.
Oh.
You're
no,
you're
you're a wolf god.
you're a
No,
god
you're
you're a
D-Dog.
god dog.
God dog.
D-Dog is
God.
basically a wolf. He's a husky. Or we just actually I remember we figured out what breed he was. I forget, but it's like basically husky or wolf mix.
Yes. Yes.
And then well, actually, it's not the last thing, but the last Fire Emblem game on this list in 2017 is Fire Emblem Gaiden or Fire Emblem Echo Shadows of Valentia, which is not featured in a Smash game. This is the story of Almond Celica. So that's basically like it's a Fire Emblem nerds thing. So that one's way out of people's range. I just couldn't believe that three Fire Emblem games came out the same fucking day over the course of 27 years.
Including the very first one, it sounded
That's
Like it's so strange to know that on the same day, 3 games of the same franchise came out apart from 27 years, and of all days, it's 420, which is even funnier.
what
Like, you
I'm
have
saying.
to-
They
Sorry, go
love their weed in Fire Emblem.
Well, you know who really loves his weed? Kratos, because the new God of War came out on this day in 2018.
Best
Oh.
transition ever.
I was like, oh, is that a good segue?
That was the best segue I've ever
Most
heard.
segues when
no,
I do this segment, almost all segues are fucking horrible.
I will lend you the game once this is over. It's honestly, in my opinion, the best game on the PS4.
I mean, I may not have time to play it at the rate that my backlog's going. So,
But how would I
and
play it?
you don't get to tell me about games you're going to send me. There's a game that you've been trying to play for forever and you still don't do it. Not to mention a fucking TV show we've been telling you to watch for like a year.
I know.
And he comes telling us what to play.
Which game was it that you're telling me to play?
Horizon.
Horizon. Okay, that I can handle. The TV show, I prefer movies over shows.
Bullshit.
Shows require too much commitment.
Bullshit, mister. I talk about The Office, The Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, and other shit all the time.
I haven't. Not Game of Thrones.
When it was going on, you guys all wouldn't shut up at the bar about it. Don't you give me that bullshit.
That
Game of
was when
Thrones was
Chris and I
so-
both watched it. I don't watch.
Oh,
Walking
but
Dead
you don't
anymore.
watch
Game of
TV shows.
Shows I'm actually committed to right now are Better Call Saul and Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Should you start playing
And
Dig
better-
Dug because you might need a shovel to keep burying yourself in this hole that you keep
Probably.
creating, trying to
Better
excuse
Call
yourself out of
Saul.
this?
Better Call Saul ended this season on Monday.
Good. Now you have room for Expanse. Go fucking watch it.
And Resident Evil 3.
I'll tell you what.
But
You watch
that's
The
definitely
Expanse.
on
I'll
the
start watching The
to-do
Boys
list.
because you keep telling me to watch that.
Which one?
The Boys. You keep telling me to watch that. You go watch The Expanse.
I'm sorry. Your voice cut out. What were you
I might-
gonna watch about?
The Boys. My voice probably ain't cutting out. It's probably you because you've been cutting out all
Okay.
episodes.
Yeah, I think it's you because I could hear him.
But yeah,
Maybe.
you keep telling me to
Okay,
watch The Boys.
uh,
I'm gonna go watch The Boys if you go watch The Expanse.
Okay, I
Alright.
will. I will watch if I watch the.
I mean,
episode
you have
and
Chris's
explain-
seal
see
of
what
approval
happens,
too.
will you
There's
watch
2
it?
people on the show telling you to go watch that shit.
I will watch it.
Do your
I'll
homework.
eventually watch it.
Speaking of, I'm not gonna try to make a segue here. It's not gonna work. The 21st, 1984, Duck Hunt.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, if we were talking about
That's a game
dogs, I
that
could have made that
converts.
transition, but we were one away. Damn.
happened?
1989, we had 2 come out because the original Game Boy was released in Japan in 1989, along with Super Mario Land.
And Tetris. It's got to be Tetris.
Tetris was not listed, but honestly, Tetris wouldn't
Well-
count because Tetris has been out for forever.
Oh, true.
Sorry,
yeah, it would have been, yeah.
I had a cutout. It was what was the other? What
The
were
original
games?
Game Boy and Super Mario Land.
That game is actually awesome and really hard.
Well, yeah, because it was in Japan. Japan likes hating people. We've learned this.
Or making us hate ourselves.
Yeah. This one I was torn about actually talking about, but I feel like I do because it is very notorious, not for a good reason. So in 2006, one of the most notorious adult entertainment games was ever released, and it was called Replay.
Oh, I've heard of this one.
And
it's fucking disturbing.
It's exactly what you would assume it would be, and it's basically a game about rape, which is wonderful.
It's a rape simulator.
Yeah, which was great.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Gross. What the hell, Japan?
And you could actually rape a child.
Side note, I could go into an hour-long rant about how I don't understand how, like, you can flip a coin, and if you watch anime porn, you have a 50-50 shot of it landing on rape or not rape. I don't understand it. If there's one thing, I can defend a lot of things in hentai, but I cannot defend the amount of rape that's in hentai. It's just insane to me.
Yeah, not good.
But moving on to other things about porn that I don't understand. Star Fox Zero.
GameCube.
Fuck you guys. I went from rape and hentai to furries, so believe me, that was the best segue I could do.
This was on GameCube, right?
No, Star Fox Zero was 2016, so this would have been Wii U, I believe. Which was not received very well.
Is this the one where the ship turns into a biped?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I heard it wasn't.
I mean, Star Fox hasn't really been received very well since the original, pretty much, so.
Yeah, since 64.
Yeah.
Because if everybody remembers Star Fox Adventures, that's when furries became a thing.
And it was the voice actor for Peppy, passed away last week.
Yeah, he got corona.
The guy, he got corona. The guy who was Soldier from Team Fortress 2, and he was do a barrel roll in Star Fox 64.
Yeah.
The guy who said barrel roll. So important for video games.
Obviously.
And then after that, on the 22nd, we only have one. We have in 2004 Mario Golf Advanced Tour on the Game Boy Advance, which I played the shit out of because I love my Mario sports games.
I do, but I never played them on Game Boy Advance. I never played them portably, though.
I also still play the DS version because they gave it away for free. So I literally just kind of every once in a while, if I'm waiting in a doctor's office, I'll have my DS with me and I'll just boot it up and just play a course, and it's still as fun. It's just a cool chill game. That's what I always loved about the Mario games for sports. They're super chill.
Oh yeah.
Did you find it more fun than Hot Shots Golf?
I guess you could almost say they're basically even, because they're pretty much the same thing. It's just Mario franchise. It's really the difference.
Because Hot Shots Golf is like a shit ton of fun, but it's also rage-inducing difficult at times.
Well, if you suck at golf, yeah.
And I do. I'm horrendous at golf.
So are all we. Last on the 23rd, there were two games in 2013. I don't know if Vicious heard of this one, but I'm sure Chris has because he's a Steam lord. Don't Starve.
Heck yeah, I have. I don't own it. It's not my cup of tea. I don't really like those survival games.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, the art style is really cool in that game. I'll give them that.
I do like the art style. Because they did something else.
It's almost like I guess the best way to explain it almost feels like somebody drawing it on paper when they're in school, like just pencil drawing.
Yeah. Yeah, I do really love the art style, hands down.
And ironically enough, we're ending with another thing we talked about on the show already. Mortal Kombat 11 came out literally today, or tomorrow last year.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Wow.
So 2 Mortal Kombat games came out this time?
Yep.
Damn. So Vishal, you're playing a game on its anniversary, a Mortal Kombat game, and I'm playing a finished playing a Mortal Kombat game on its anniversary.
Yeah. No,
it's our combined Mortal Kombat anniversary. Happy anniversary.
Mortal Kombat, like ever since number 9, has significantly improved in quality and substance. This isn't just like fight one and fight the other and that's it. It's like, hey, let's actually give these characters like real personalities and like substance instead of just like, oh, you're a ninja, I'm a ninja, we're different colors. I hate you, let's fight.
So
now it's
I don't like ninjas who wear blue.
Yeah.
Scorpion is out for revenge on Sub.
Yeah, like the stories were there for the characters in the first few games, but you read about it in the manual or in the ending for their.
Or today you watch YouTube videos where people actually do all the research and do it for you.
Yeah. Yes.
So we have
Good, actually, sir.
we're already at 90 minutes, but I mean, Brittany came into the call. She hasn't really gotten a chance to really say much other than she plays Animal Crossing and sleeps a lot. So
Yeah, I'm playing
and
Animal Crossing
TikTok.
right now.
So I figured we're probably going to do this from now on, and I'm going to keep trying to keep topics fresh as much as I can. We're going to, because usually we used to do like some inquisitive topic at the end. So I figured we'd start doing that again. I made a massive list of serious and fun topics. I keep saying topic. TikTok is killing me right now. I keep wanting to say topics. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Look, English is a hard language, guys.
But we're also looking at doing different episodes, like one-off episodes of talking about game series itself, and we're looking at like the history of Mortal Kombat, history of Mario, history of Zelda.
Yeah, we're definitely looking at an idea of having a second show that's separate from this. Like, you could almost consider like a bonus.
Yeah,
We could
for
even-
all our Patreon viewers out there.
We could even call it VCR Podcast Special Stage.
CR.
No. I must have cut it.
Damn it.
I must have cut out again. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pose a
bite,
fun question this time rather than something serious, because let's start with fun.
I love it.
So you get one game, one franchise. This franchise will never ever stop releasing games, and every game they release will always be good. What's that one franchise? So it guarantees.
Like, which one do we think it's going to be,
No.
or which one do we want it to be?
If somebody, like a genie, comes up to you and saying, "Okay, you get one game, and I guarantee you that this game will never stop coming out, and they will always be good." Because my answer is
Why
simple.
am I so erect right now?
My answer is simple. It's Final Fantasy, because it means good Final Fantasy games come out again.
Damn it, you took mine. All right, let me rethink.
Because I mean, I'm not going to allow you guys to say Mario, because there really aren't bad Mario games.
I'm torn between two, and one of them is way more realistic than the other.
Is it Madden?
No, because no genie has the power to make a single Madden good. Take that, Adam Trump.
Yeah, 3 wishes just aren't enough. But yeah,
All right, so I'm just gonna have to give both. One is unrealistic because they don't even make it anymore, but my one would be a Chrono series,
Okay.
like the Chrono Trigger, like Chrono Break or whatever the hell Chrono 3 would be.
Well, I
and then
know
they
if
keep going.
we ever ask the question, what franchise would you like to revive? Chris is gonna yell it out like immediately.
Yeah, Chrono. So hard I'll faint.
So it's the realistic one
but-
then.
More realistic would be Assassin's Creed. If they could keep them
Yeah.
coming out, but like not let it get stale, not let it like.
Well, it looks like
get
they're trying
stupid.
to, because the rumor going around is that the one they're doing now that's going to be in Viking mythology, they're actually going to go a lot more supernatural with this game.
That sounds really cool.
Which
I'm even,
honestly
like,
is a
kind of
smart
interested.
idea, because I think people are done with realism unless you're actually going to be like, if they release a Assassin's Creed that's either in the present day or the future, then you could probably like mess around with that. But if we're talking like old school, like fuck it, go crazy. Like
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, let's stop this bullshit of assuming what everything was like in the 1800s. Like, come on, man, just have fun with it.
Yeah.
No one cares
I'm
about
kinda-
realism in a historical game anymore.
I'm kind of cheating on my choice.
Why are you saying Mario?
And everyone's cutting out again, so I can't. I'm hearing dead
I
silence.
think it's
What's
just
your
you.
choice?
What's
Okay.
your choice?
Okay. DC.
That's not a game.
Yeah.
That's not a game franchise. That doesn't count.
like DC fighting games, like Injustice.
No, I mean like DC games in general. If they actually make a video game universe.
Well, I mean, you could arguably just say like Batman games then, because that's pretty much all they're making still.
Yeah. Or like a
Yeah.
DC Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah. Like
be
I
fun.
think that would be if they could make actual DC gaming universe where the games were good, like because they were planning on making a Flash and Superman open.
Yeah, there
world
was a
game
rumor that
in
Rocksteady was pitching to Warner Brothers hard to make a Superman game, and they kept shooting them down.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, and I think like I find because sometimes the storylines, like for example, the Dark Phoenix storyline apparently is like a very long series, like dozens of comic books, and it's not something suitable for like a 2-hour film. Because it makes sense though, because you go into space, you go into like a whole bunch of different people, and to make it into a 2-hour movie is almost impossible.
Yeah, maybe they won't.
just-
Maybe they won't kill the most like the villain that kills Superman off in the first movie.
Don't remind me on that shit. I was looking so forward to that movie, and it was just such a fucking painful disappointment. And I feel like if they could make a good DC gaming universe, it would actually be awesome. Because even if like Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1, I thought was a great game. For its time at least. Like now it probably seems really dated.
Well, dude, we were just happy as shit that we could play as Captain America and punch the shit out of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like there was a Fantastic Four and Iron Man game on the PlayStation, and they were horrendous.
Well, yeah. Once we got to like standalone games in the 3D, if it wasn't Spider-Man, yeah, they were kind of crap.
Well, Arkham Asylum is the one that changed the games. Like Spider-Man was really good.
Yeah, like
the
Spider-Man
original
2 was really good, and then there was nothing until Arkham came out. It was
one. Are
just
you talking about Spider-Man 2, the movie game, or
Yeah,
Spider-Man
the
2,
movie
the
2 game,
sequel
the movie
to
game.
Spider-Man game?
The movie game.
Oh, okay.
the PS2
So
game.
Spider-Man
But
2, the sequel?
between that game and all the way to Arkham Asylum, there was nothing. Everything that had a movie license attached to it fucking sucked.
Well, there was one Batman game where it was based off of the animated series, and I heard that was actually a good game.
Well, good is more like passable to people. Like I'm talking like actually like a game that we all just didn't like. Why did I just spend full price on this?
Fair enough. But it was like they were saying like this is actually like this was not a bad game. Like this is actually fun. It was actually good.
Well, the
So-
bar was also pretty low.
Most likely.
That just leaves you,
And-
Brittany.
Pardon me.
That just leaves you.
Like I feel like my answer is lame, but I just love Super Smash
Go
Bros.
ahead.
So much.
Smash Brothers is a good answer.
It's just my favorite game ever.
Look. I mean, Nintendo is never gonna die. They're gonna keep making so much money because people are gonna keep buying $80 games and never go on sale.
Absolutely.
Like Smash Brothers.
Well, Smash Brothers again feels like it gets better by age, but I think they should wait for a while to make a new Smash Brothers.
If they make a new Smash on Switch, it should be like the last year of its life cycle before they have a new console.
But remember, the Genie is making it where it releases over and over, and it's always really good.
But we didn't say time frame.
Oh, okay. So it's not like it's once a year.
No, not every game is going to be once a year because because technically that would mean we're also being assholes and making people crunch real hard to release a good game every
yeah,
year.
because then that'll have the Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed format where it's every year and it's just like the same fucking game every year.
Because I mean, I could have gone Mass Effect, but I'm like, man, I already got a good trilogy. Like I'm good. Like I can just go back with that. Final Fantasy, it's like I know you're going to keep going.
Yeah, Final Fantasy works because it's always a different area, different everything, right?
There's never really any following story besides the 7 spin-offs.
10's had
Or
actually there's a lot more than
13
people
trilogy.
think now. It's like 4 has had another game, 12 has had a game, 10's had a game.
Yeah, and I've played all of them.
13's had 3
Scary.
because fuck lightning.
13, 2, and 3.
I'm trying to
4, yeah.
think.
Why doesn't 6 have a sequel?
Because don't touch 6.
What's that?
Don't touch it.
No,
It's
I want a
fine the
sequel.
way it
Do it.
is.
Do it.
That's not Kefka,
Actu-
right?
Actually, you know what?
Yeah.
Let's full remake that.
I would be okay with them remaking it as long as they leave the like battle system alone. Like make it the same game, but just do like a Dragon Quest 11 upgrade kind of.
Yeah,
idea,
I don't want full 3D. I want like straight up like still like anime like just like cartoon looking shit.
Yeah.
Because
You want a Toon shader?
well, Kefka's not going to look very good looking like a real person. Let's be honest.
No, but I mean like the way they do what game? Did you ever play the Ultimate Spider-Man game for PS2?
No, like I'm
No, but I know what you're talking about with the cell shading, like Borderlands.
Yes, cell shading. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
yeah like
Like
we're
3D.
like games that
cartoon.
we see now like Dragon Quest is now or Guilty Gear or like Blaze Blue or like a lot of these
Yeah.
2D fighters look like anime but still 3D.
3D, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
like the Dragon Ball Fighter games, like that type
Yeah.
of graphic.
Yeah,
Would you be okay
that would
with
be perfectly fine. That would
Yeah, I
be
think that'd work
that would
really
be
well.
exactly what I want, because Kefka and that graphic style would be amazing. Also, Ultros and that would be amazing. Also, there'd be so much hentai of that.
Yes. We'd have to be careful with the memes
No,
and the mods.
Come on, Chris, be careful with the memes. You know what you're saying right now.
Fine. Well, they gotta lock down the mods though, because you be careful.
I still
Don't
couldn't
let
believe
people
that
mod
like Square put Final Fantasy on PC with mods. I'm like, you guys know that they're just gonna they're gonna hentai everything on this.
Good luck, Cindy.
It's like it's in real talk. This is the reason you'll never see Kingdom Hearts on PC, straight up,
Yeah.
because Disney won't allow it. There's no way they'll allow the potential for modding that game.
Oh yeah.
Just let it on. Lock it hard. That's what she said.
Well, that's as soon as somebody can get the source code, they can still do it.
Yeah, true.
So unfortunately, PC Master Race, you're not getting Kingdom Hearts. So I'm sorry that you don't get
I'm getting it one day.
You don't get the crazy convoluted story that makes no sense, but you get to beat the shit out of Disney villains, so we're good.
I've read the story beginning to end on the internet, and at the end of it, I went, "What?"
Yeah,
I still didn't get the fuck what it said.
Believe
The
me,
first game wasn't that bad. I understood that whole thing just by playing it, and then I picked up the second game, and I was like, "Okay, what the fuck?"
when people reviewed
instantly.
the third game and said this story makes no sense, I immediately typed, "Yes, that is Kingdom Hearts. This is what you signed up for."
Yeah, that's your fault for going it. Like, there's been a million games, only we just got the third one because everyone else is called like Birth by Sleep.
Or
makes
358 under 2 days.
Yeah. Or divided by 2 days.
No,
I'm
it's
not sure.
it's under 2. That's the actual name.
Oh, why?
What was the really stupid one? Like I think it was like
There was the Dream Drop Distance
no,
or
this
whatever. The
no, this is the
3D.
one. The Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue.
What the hell?
I love the one that was on 3DS. Instead of putting 3D, it was 3Ds, like Dream Drop Distance.
Yep. Because they think they're
Yeah.
clever.
They think they're clever. They're just confusing the fuck out of everyone, but we still bought the game, so
But speaking of confusion, that's all I got. I was like, how do I segue into ending the show on a Kingdom Hearts confusing story? I'm like, I don't think I can do that.
we should all just say something very confusing and then we end the episode.
So let's let Vishal talk.
Madden is the greatest game to ever come on the Sega Saturn.
That's not confusing. That's just a flat out
like-
false.
Yeah, this is a false statement.
That's just
You have
fake
to do
news.
something very like stereotypical of a Japanese anime. Like
Okay.
everybody's standing together and one person goes, "But wait, is that him?"
Okay.
And then
In the
everyone goes,
words-
"What?" And then he says,
In the words of Patrick Stewart, live long and use the Force, Harry. Sincerely, Gandalf.
So you're an asshole. Okay, that's all I need to know. So that's the VCR
Yes.
podcast, everybody. Thank you so much for checking this out. So if you're watching this on YouTube, please like the channel, subscribe for more content, comment below about how maybe Vish should have his own podcast to himself where he just gets to ramble on incoherently for an hour.
"The Ramble
Banana.
Hour."
Yeah. Maybe that'll be a Patreon episode one day.
Yep.
If you're listening to this on
Vishal
any
with
audio
drinks and
service,
rambling.
such as Spotify, iTunes, I'm trying to think. Still not on Stitcher, which I got to figure out. I don't know why that's not on Stitcher, but Pocket Cast, Overcast, Google Podcasts, and many other places. If you can watch it there and rate it, please do so. Give us a high rating, especially because it was 420 a couple days ago, so really give us a high rating.
Haha.
And then otherwise, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can already see our social media accounts. So, just follow us on there. Otherwise, Instagram at vcr.podcast. So with that being said, any final thoughts, guys, before we take this show and get the hell out of here?
No.
Stay
I
safe
wanna go
and let's flatten the curve.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's doing better else. Side note, I just want to say one stupid thing that's been happening. The fact that, because here in Canada, we have a couple of provinces now that are going 0 cases with COVID. We have people going around being like, "So we're okay, right?" I'm like, "No, guys, we're in a province of 14.5 million people. It's a little bit harder for us to get to 0 than PEI, which has like 90,000."
Yeah.
So I love now that like there are provinces starting to think about loosening restrictions. People are like, "Oh, so we're going to do it at the same time." Oh no.
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 And then people be like, "Why is it so hard to get the number down?" I'm like, "'Cause Toronto."
Yeah.
Done.
Toronto has more of a population than most of the fucking
I
provinces.
think last time I checked, Toronto accounts for almost 70% of all active cases still. Just
I think
Toronto.
I'm one of them.
Just Toronto. So
Look, put them in a bubble.
yeah, let's just bubble boy that shit.
Yeah, Bubble Boy. Let's do it.
But we're gonna go to our own little bubble because we gotta have a crazy chill conversation because we have to cry together a little bit. So we're gonna end the show as it stands before we start exfoliating so many salty tears. So with that being said, guys, on behalf of everybody else in the VCR crew, thank you so much for checking us out this week, and we will see you on the next one.